If you are an introverted sustainability educator, you might find it hard to get your message across, which is quite common for introverted people. Maybe you have colleagues who are set in their ways. Maybe you are new. Or maybe you don't know what makes your family tick. But did you know that each introvert has a hidden extrovert inside? And that hidden extrovert can be triggered. This isn't new age. I didn't eat mushrooms, I didn't have visions, and I didn't spend 3 days in a desert. That triggering was established by Carl Jung, the psychologist who gave us the term introvert 100 years ago. And in this video, I'm going to share Carl Jung's story of two boys. One boy is an introvert and he triggers his hidden extrovert. The second boy is an extrovert and he triggers his hidden introvert. So if you are an introverted sustainability educator, you can see how that process of triggering your hidden extrovert works and then apply it to be more of a leader and driver instead of just doer. Hi, I am Jan from sustainablebutterflies.com.au. 1 out of 5 pillars of sustainability is behavior. I am not a psychologist, which is why I am borrowing this story from Carl Gustav Jung's 2 essays on analytical psychology. I can't go closer to the source than that, because Carl Jung gave us the term introvert in 1923. Okay, so here is the story. 2 boys, one introvert, one extrovert, walk together in a forest. And suddenly they find an old castle. The introverted boy sees the castle and he's wondering, I wonder what it's like inside the castle. But he is happy to keep his distance, as though the castle were threatening. He says to his extroverted friend, I wonder what it's like inside. The extroverted boy, true to his nature, says, well, let's go right in. He's not thinking about what it's like inside the castle. But the introverted boy withdraws a bit. He says, oh, there might be police, guard dogs and visitors. Perhaps we're not allowed in. I don't really want to go in. The extroverted boy says, oh, don't worry, they'll let us in all right. We'll be fine. And he's imagining adventures, brave knights and friendly aristocrats inside the castle. So the extroverted boy opens the door to the castle. So they enter the castle, and inside, there isn't much inside the castle apart from some old manuscripts, old books. Naturally, the introverted boy is drawn to these old books. He looks at them, he opens them, he scans them, and he starts to read them and go through them. Suddenly, as if he was transformed, he gets excited. Now he approaches the old caretaker and he wants to find out what's the story of the castle. But the old caretaker isn't very helpful. So the introverted boy is looking for the castle manager and he wants to probe him and find what's the history, what's the story of the castle. His shyness is gone. He is no longer just thinking about the castle. He now engaged the caretaker and is looking for the castle manager. He is on a mission. On the contrary, the extroverted boy hates the castle. He looks around and the only thing he can see is some old books. Old books remind him of a library, which reminds him of a university, and that reminds him of exams. The whole place to him looks like a museum and it's very boring. The introverted boy asks his friend, isn't it wonderful that we found this treasure? But the extroverted boy looks at him long-faced. I hate it. It bores me to death. Okay, so what happened? They were both walking happily outside. The introvert is subject-orientated, looking inside, primarily concerned with his inner world. He saw the object, but that is secondary. He was imagining what it's like inside a castle, but kind of worried there might be dogs and guards. The extrovert is primarily focused and concerned with object, the stuff that's outside, the outer world. So as soon as he heard from the introvert, I wonder what it's like inside, he was like this, let's go right in. And he was the one who got them in. He opened the door and then they walked inside. But once they were inside, the introvert became extroverted and the extrovert became introverted. How did that happen? The introvert was drawn to these old books, which is natural to introverts. They like this sort of stuff. So he was drawn to this object, right? and that object triggered his hidden, which Carl Jung calls unconscious, extrovert, right? As soon as he was triggered, he was then on a mission. He engaged the caretaker, and then he was looking for the castle manager, right? Engaging other people, being on a mission, being extroverted, behaving like extrovert. The extroverted boy, on the contrary, is not interested in the object anymore. He is actually resisting. He is now subject, inward focused on his thoughts, such as, oh, this looks like bloody museum, like a library, there is no adventure, there are no friendly aristocrats, I hate it here, I want to get out of here. Okay, so the point is, if you are an introverted sustainability educator, or center manager, teacher in your service, early childhood center or school or preschool or OOSH, find your trigger object. It could be a worm farm, it could be a garden, it could be a compost bin, it could be a newsletter, it could be a notice board, it could be some old book after all, right? Bring it with you, have it in your car. If you can't bring it, take a photo of it on your phone and look at it. And use this as your jumping off point to get you engaged with others. Okay, this was just a small part of my larger program on getting people on board with sustainability. So if you are ready to green doctrinate without preaching, because preaching doesn't work, click the link in the video description to find out more about the program. I hope you got some value today, and I'll see you there. Have a great day. Bye.